What's up, everybody? Mauricio Schiller here, your host, and you're listening to the Schillering Hub Talking Hospitality podcast. Today's episode is presented by our AI interns, Jack and Mal, and they are discussing our blog post about why everything you know about hotel staff training is wrong and how to fix it. So the best way to fully immerse yourself into this podcast is by going to www.schulering.com/blog and read that full immersive blog, listening to this podcast where our AI interns really get into data, into strategy, and into solutions to fix the retention problem in hospitality. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please, if you like it, enjoy it, please share and comment and give us a 5-star review. I would really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do it so right now. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the chat.
Okay, so let's really get into this. If you're a leader in hospitality, and that could be, a boutique hotel, a restaurant, anything, you are not just running a business.
No, not at all. You're basically fighting a war, a brutal war against attrition.
The numbers we pulled are, they're just staggering. Staff turnover rates hitting almost 85% in the USA.
85%. Just sit with that for a second. For every 10 people on your team, 8 or maybe 9 of them are gone within a year.
And that's not just a headache, it's a huge financial drain. The data shows replacing one employee can cost, over $5,800?
And that's a conservative number. Often it's way more when you factor in the lost productivity, the time it takes for a new person to get up to speed.
And this cost, it leads directly into this really difficult problem we're calling the training paradox.
Mm-hmm.
You, as the leader, you have to ask this cynical question, right? Why should I pour all this time, all this money into really good training when statistically that employee might be gone in 7 months?
It feels like you're just throwing money away.
Yeah.
And it creates this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, so?
Well, because the risk is so high, a lot of places pull back on training. They do the bare minimum, just enough to get someone on the floor.
And of course, that person is underprepared, overwhelmed, and then
they're more likely to quit. So the cycle continues.
Right. So the mission for us in this deep dive is to lay out a strategic way out of that exact paradox. We're looking at a hybrid adaptive system. It's designed to hedge against that attrition risk.
It's all about being smarter with where you put your resources.
Exactly. We've broken it down into 3 big pillars for building what we're calling a high-fidelity workforce. First is prioritized selection, basically. Hire for attitude.
A second, strategic onboarding. We call it the retention ramp.
And third, scalable development, which is all about using technology as your lever.
It's a complete mindset shift, really, from just processing new hires to actively building loyalty right from the very beginning.
Let's dig into that first pillar then, the hire first filter. This goes against the grain a bit, doesn't it? The traditional idea is to hire for experience, for the resume.
It really does. The core idea here is to shift your investment. Instead of spending so much time teaching skills, you spend your energy up front finding people with the right intrinsic service attitudes.
The old saying, right? Hire for attitude, train for skill.
Exactly. One of the sources was really blunt about it. It said something like, you can teach skills, but trying to change someone's core attitude, it requires a brain transplant.
I love that. But it brings up a practical question for me. In hospitality, you're hiring fast. You're hiring in volume. How do you actually filter for attitude in a 15-minute interview?
It's not about psychological testing or anything that complicated. You're just looking for indicators.
Yeah.
You can teach someone how to use the point-of-sale system, the PMS system. That's just button pushing.
That's technical.
But that foundational capacity for service, the empathy, the conscientiousness, that natural instinct to help, that's almost impossible to fake.
So you're looking for evidence of that behavior in their past, not just what they say they can do.
Precisely. There was a fantastic real-world example we found about Jim Bush at American Express.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about that.
When he was scaling up their service centers, he deliberately hired people who had worked at a hotel front desk over people with traditional call center experience.
That seems kind of counterintuitive. A hotel desk is a totally different world from a call center.
It is, but it speaks directly to this attitude filter. Bush knew that hotel front desk staff. They already had an innate ability to connect. They're used to handling high-stress, face-to-face human interactions.
The lost luggage, the room not being ready.
All of it. They have this built-in emotional intelligence. Amex figured, look, we can easily teach them our computer systems, but we can't teach them how to genuinely connect with a person in distress.
So cultural fit isn't just about, do I like this person? It's about, does their core service DNA match our company's why?
And when you get that alignment, that is a massive driver for retention. People who are genuinely passionate about what your brand stands for, they just don't leave as often. It's the best ROI you can get in hiring.
Okay, so you find this amazing person. Now what? You move into that crucial second pillar, strategic onboarding, the retention ramp.
And this is where the pressure really kicks in. The need for rapid deployment, right? Get them on the floor now.
We're short-staffed, we need bodies.
And that's the biggest pitfall. You sacrifice quality for speed, and you end up just drowning the new hire in information on day one.
Which causes instant anxiety and makes them think about leaving already.
Right. So strategic onboarding has to start before their first shift. This is where you can be really smart with digital tools.
You're talking about pre-boarding.
Exactly. And doing it in a way that's accessible for everyone, especially for your deskless or multilingual staff. Forget the clunky HR portal. The sources really advocate using simple SMS. Just text messages.
Okay, so what does that look like in practice?
You text them a digital welcome packet. Here's your schedule, here's a map of the property, here's the paperwork you need. And the key is you let them just snap a photo of the completed forms and text it back.
Ah, that's clever. That removes so much friction. No need for a scanner or a computer.
It's agile, it's easy, and it means when they walk in on day one, they're ready to learn and connect, not fill out tax forms.
And that day one experience, that's what Florian Horn, one of the experts we studied, really hammered home. He says managers have to make that first day memorable.
Absolutely. It can't be 8 hours in a stuffy room reading a manual. The orientation needs to be about the culture, why you should be excited to work here, why you should want to grow with us.
And a big part of that is creating psychological safety right away.
Which is where peer integration, like a buddy program, is just, it's a game changer.
So you pair a new hire with a veteran employee.
Yep. They have a go-to person for all the silly questions they'd be too embarrassed to ask the general manager. Where's the break room again? Or how does this coffee machine work?
It's more than just comfort, though, isn't it? It's a powerful training tool.
It's an incredibly high-fidelity training mechanism. The data on this is wild peer-to-peer training can have knowledge retention rates of up to 90%.
90%. That's, wow. Why is it so much more effective?
Because it's the only way to effectively transfer what's called tacit knowledge.
Okay, break that down for us. What is tacit knowledge?
It's the unwritten rule book. It's the stuff you can't learn from a manual. It's the wisdom you only get from experience.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, so the manual says, make a martini. Tacit knowledge is the veteran bartender telling the new hire, look, when Mrs. Smith sits at table 4, she always orders a dry martini with 3 olives. And if she smiles a certain way, she's about to ask for this special dessert, so go check if we have it ready.
It's predictive. It makes them effective immediately.
Instantly. And the manager's role has to shift. You're not the primary trainer anymore. You have to trust your buddy system.
And you debrief with the buddy to see how the new hire's really doing.
Exactly. You trust their expertise on the floor.
This flows perfectly into our third pillar then, continuous development. And this is where you really have to leverage the technology lever.
Yeah, given the high risk of turnover, you need training that's cost-efficient, standardized, and measurable. You can't afford 3-day off-site workshops for every new line cook.
So we're moving away from the classroom lecture.
Completely. We're embracing microlearning, delivering content in, bite-sized, repeatable lessons, 5 to 10 minutes long, all accessible on a mobile phone.
Learn on the go.
Yeah, exactly. They can do it on their break, on the bus ride home. And the sources show this isn't just convenient, it boosts knowledge retention by 20 to 40%.
And it's agile. The menu changes, you push out a 5-minute video, new safety policy, boom, everyone gets the update instantly.
But it can't just be about technical tasks. Hospitality is all about the emotional experience. We have to train soft skills reading body language, diffusing a tense situation.
How do you train something like empathy on a smartphone?
Through high-fidelity simulations. Scenario-based training, or SBT. Instead of awkward role-playing, you use interactive videos where they have to make decisions in real time.
We saw the amazing example from Hilton using virtual reality for this.
Yes. They put their staff into these VR simulations of really tough guest encounters.
Like dealing with an unreasonable complaint.
Exactly. And the results were incredible. 94% of the people who went through it said the VR training boosted their sense of empathy.
Wow, because they actually felt the stress of the situation in a safe environment.
They got to practice their response without any real-world consequences. So when it happens on the floor, they're prepared. Their problem-solving skills shot up.
That is a huge payoff. And to keep people engaged with this continuous learning, you have to make it, well, fun.
You have to. You fight training fatigue with gamification, leaderboards, point systems, little challenges, and you inject humor.
Like using a clip from The Office before a fire safety module.
Why not? Show the chaotic fire drill scene as what not to do lead-in. It makes the serious information that follows much more memorable. It keeps them from tuning out.
So once you have this well-trained, agile team, you have to build in resilience. Which brings us to cross-training.
Cross-training isn't a luxury anymore. It's essential.
Yeah.
If your front desk team can help in the restaurant during a rush or housekeeping can cover laundry, you avoid those critical bottlenecks.
And it's a retention tool too, right? People feel more valuable if they have more skills.
For sure. They don't feel like they're stuck in a dead-end job.
Yeah.
And all of this has to be supported by a culture of coaching, not just correction.
Moving away from that dreaded annual performance review.
Oh, totally. That's the worst. Feedback needs to be immediate. A 30-second intervention right after an interaction. Hey, that was a great job handling that. Or next time, try this phrasing instead. That's a million times more effective.
It all ties back to this core principle of unconditional hospitality. It's not just for guests.
No, Preston Lee argues it has to be for your coworkers too. You help your teammate, not because you expect something back, but because you all share the same high standard.
And when you get all these pieces working together, the ROI, the return on investment, is actually very clear and measurable.
It is. You see a real reduction in training costs, maybe up to 35% with micro-learning. You're saving all that money on constant rehiring.
And on the revenue side, guest satisfaction goes up. We're seeing reports of 15 to 25% increases.
And upselling conversions get a boost too. 15 to 20%, just from staff practicing in those simulations.
So the whole calculus changes. The strategic investment up front in attitude, onboarding, and digital development, it pays for itself over and over again.
You finally conquered the training paradox.
It's a powerful framework. You select for attitude, you onboard with structure and peer support, and you develop skills with scalable tech that hedges your risk.
And I think the final thought here, the challenge from Florian Horn, is really fascinating. He says managers need to stop being the grim reaper of hospitality.
The person who only shows up when something's wrong.
Exactly. Instead, you have to lead with positive energy. You have to be approachable. That culture becomes contagious, and it's something people want to be a part of. You have to model that hospitality to your own team first.
So if you're listening to this and you want to actually implement this framework and stop fighting that turnover war, there are tools out there designed specifically for this.
Yeah, you can find resources like the Culture Deck, which helps you define and hire for that attitude fit. There's the Stay Onboarding framework for turning your manuals into mobile-friendly training.
And even things like employee experience audits to find those hidden friction points in your current system. It's all about building stronger, high-fidelity teams.
You can get started on all of this immediately. Just visit www.schulering.com.